This movie starts with the introduction of one of the main characters, archaeology professor Hopper. The man and his dog are looking for a certain hippie family that disappeared years ago while exploring one cave. This family was looking for some kind of artifact, the Fountain of Youth, but they disappeared in 1970. Hopper finally manages to find this family's van after years of searching. The man notices that there is a cave nearby. The archaeologist immediately goes to the entrance and notices a cowboy there holding a gun and an oil lamp. Hopper notices that the clothes on the cowboy are from a past time, and it looks like the cowboy is just frozen in time. Shocked by what he's seen, Hopper returns home. The archaeologist needs to find a scientific explanation for all this. The man also wants to discuss what he has seen with his assistants, Taylor and Jackie. Already at home, the archaeologist tells his assistants that the situation has changed and it is better for him to go down into the cave alone. The next day, Hopper travels to the cave and prepares to descend inside the cave. When the archaeologist descends into the cave, he discovers a barely visible air barrier separating the atmosphere in the cave from the outside world. The man decides to go through this barrier and take several steps through this invisible barrier. 2 days have passed since Hopper left to explore the cave, but his assistants still have not received a message from the man that he is all right. As a consequence, our heroes decide to go in search of their professor. Since they don't have an SUV, they call Kara, the girl who is in love with Taylor, and ask her to take her father's SUV. Meanwhile, Viv, Kara's younger sister, is writing a school project about archaeology, and Kara decides to take her sister along. And in turn, the sister takes her partner in the school project, a guy named Furby, along for the ride. And so our team is assembled and off to find adventure. They arrive at the site and find the van that Hopper told them about. The assistants also discover that the hippies the archaeologist has been looking for all this time are his family. It turns out that sometime in the 70s, a Hopper family went with their daughter, the professor's sister, in search of the Fountain of Youth, and soon disappeared. Our heroes find an old rope leading to another cave entrance. Entering the cave, Tyler discovers that the rope is cut, and obviously it is not the professor's rope, as it is very old. The team decides to go down into the cave and leave Furby on the surface, because the guy is afraid of spiders. While climbing down the rope, Kara discovers some kind of invisible barrier similar to the one Hopper discovered. The young explorers decide to go through this barrier. After that, we are shown an archaeologist who took a few steps along an invisible barrier and saw the cowboy walk sharply into the depths of the cave. The man senses something strange and incomprehensible. The archaeologist notices a strange flicker of light behind him. It looks as if someone is blinking a spotlight at the entrance to the cave. Hopper then hears a strange scream in the cave, and it startles him and he runs outside. The man sees that night has fallen in just the few minutes he has spent in the cave. The surroundings and terrain have changed a lot, and the archaeologist's car is overgrown with plants. It all looks as if a couple minutes in the cave equals decades outside. Soon Hopper finds his assistant's SUV and Jackie's backpack. The archaeologist then decides to return to the cave, and along the way he leaves fluorescent sticks behind. Throwing one such stick near the barrier, it freezes in mid-air, which scares the archaeologist. Next, we are shown that the whole team goes down into the cave and starts to explore it. Suddenly, the girls hear some terrible screaming and decide to get out of the cave at once. Jackie goes up first, but suddenly the rope breaks and the girl falls on Tyler, who catches Jackie. As a result of this fall, Jackie sprains her leg and Tyler injures his wrist. Afterward, the man pulls on a second rope and it too breaks. The guys think it was Furby who cut the ropes to play a prank on them. The team tries to radio him, but Furby doesn't answer. Suddenly, Tyler hears a quiet voice on the radio asking for help. Shocked by this voice, and deciding that it's Furby, our heroes decide to move deeper into the cave. They decide to leave the injured Jackie here and then come back for her. Soon the heroes find another descent into the cave with a broken rope and Furby's dead body lying nearby. The team decides to turn on Furby's camera footage to see what happened here. In the video, Furby reads Hopper's father's diary, which describes that there is a spring of healing water in the cave. Because Hopper's sister was terminally ill, his family decided to go to the cave to find this spring. After spending several days alone and waiting for his friends to return, Furby decides to go down into the cave alone to search for his missing friends, who he assumes are already dead. While it was several days for the guy, it was only a few minutes for the group in the cave. As Furby began to descend, the light began to flicker and his rope abruptly broke, causing him to fall. Viv notices and draws the team's attention to one oddity, that in the few minutes that the heroes have been in the cave, Furby has lived for days. Because Tyler and Jackie are injured, only Kara and Viv can get out of the cave and call for help. But since Viv is still very young, so Kara volunteers to do it. The girl climbs up the cliff at the place where Furby came down. As the girl climbs, the light in the cave opening flickers faster and faster. Eventually, Kara manages to get out of the cave, but she discovers a completely different terrain. The girl notices that there is not a trace of plants here, and the air feels heavy, which is very hard to breathe. Kara notices a huge sandstorm on the horizon. The girl tries to catch cell service, and notices a huge triangular-shaped flying object in the sky. As the storm gets closer and closer, Kara decides to head back to the cave. Once back down, everyone starts counting the girl out, that she couldn't even call for help, since she was only gone for a couple seconds. Kara says that she was on the surface for over half an hour, and shows a video from the surface. The guys can't believe it, but guesses that time flows much faster outside the cave than inside this cave. Taylor says that the shimmering, it's the sun, that it's the shimmering of sunrises and sunsets. The man concludes that no one cut the ropes, because they simply broke because of time, cutting the team off from the outside world. The heroes decide to revisit the footage from Furby's camera once again. They see that the guy lay unconscious for a while, but later he came to his senses, and tried to contact Tyler by radio. Suddenly, at this point, some cavemen attack the guy. After rewatching the footage a few times, Viv notices that with each flicker, the sun's trajectory changes, meaning that it's not a change of day and night, but for every second of the flare, an entire year flies by. We can assume that during the time our heroes were in the cave, more than 5,000 years have passed in the outside world. Soon Kara tries to get to the surface again, but suddenly some high-tech ladder descends inside the cave. The girl decides to use this ladder, but notices that some creature in a spacesuit is descending it. Suddenly, ancient cavemen come running at the noise and attack the creature in the spacesuit, but the creature neutralizes the threat. In fear for their lives, the boys flee deep into the cave. After running for a while, our heroes find the bodies of the cowboy and Hopper's parents. Our heroes also encounter other ancient cavemen. Tyler engages the ancient people in battle, but is defeated in a fight that is not equal. At this time, the girls flee to the other side of the cave, but Kara returns and finds Tyler's body. While the girl is mourning the guy, a creature in a spacesuit approaches her. The creature picks up Tyler's body and carries it towards the water. Kara is horrified by this, but attacks the creature. Once in the water, however, Tyler comes back to life. However, the ancient cavemen return and attack the creature. The ancient humans smash the creature's helmet and it begins to suffocate. The man in the spacesuit manages to neutralize all the ancient cavemen. Before he dies, a man in a spacesuit shows our heroes a video about the disappearance of their team, about how people went to other planets to survive and save humanity. Our heroes realize that they have no other choice but to return to the surface, because otherwise they will have to live in this cave forever. Soon Tyler finds Hopper's belongings and then the archaeologist himself mortally wounded. The man lies before the entrance to another invisible barrier, with Hopper's sister trapped in it and other people from different eras fighting over the Fountain of Youth. The archaeologist says that all these barriers are designed to protect the fountain from the greed of mankind, and each barrier has a different rate of time flow, and each new layer is slower than the previous one. Our heroes decide to use the water to cure Jackie and bring Furby back to life. However, they begin to be attacked by ancient cavemen. Having no other way out, our heroes decide to use a futuristic ladder and get out. Climbing to the entrance to the outside, the girl discovers that the surface is filled with water. Kara tries to break through the water barrier, but suddenly the girl is grabbed by strange creatures and dragged into the water, putting a breathing apparatus on her. Time stands still, but a second later we see a fully equipped Kara returning to the cave with some high-tech ropes. The girl rescues the remaining humans, including Hopper, his family, and Furby. At the end of the movie, Hopper, his family, and Furby are brought back to life. Everyone is rescued and ends up on a huge spaceship that is traveling to a new Earth. This is the end of the movie. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Give this video a like. Write in the comments what you think about this movie, and see you in new videos.